Hello class! For today's lesson we're going to have a look at DC Universe Classics Wave 12, oh my god, figure number 2, the Spectre. So here we have him in his packaging. One thing I'd like to point out about him just before we get going is that you can see, I don't know how well we can see here on camera, the little skulls that they've put in the packaging here. That is very excellent. I like the fact they've done that. Instead of just using the same one for everybody, they've put a little bit of detail in it. That is excellent. Now for the rest of the packaging, well, you can see all these characters I think they've made DCU Classics figures for. Probably they have. Over there we've got the Spectre. I don't know how well we can see him. He's in there. He's got a goatee, which makes him eviler than usual. Here we've got our collector's button, because I get excited about collector's buttons. What the hell am I supposed to do with that anyway? Anyways, come here, kitty. So if we look at the back here, we have a quick biography on this dude. An honest cop, James Corrigan, was killed by gangsters. That sucks. The ghostly spirit of vengeance appeared before him and offered him a second chance at life. Corrigan agreed and became the Spectre, a ghostly avenger of evil deeds. But Corrigan is only one of a series of Spectres. There's been lots of people who have been Spectre. Hal Jordan has been Spectre because he was a douchebag who went evil. And then he came back less of a douchebag. Or something like that. Anyways, Spectre is pretty brutal. He messes people up real good. I've got some stats on him. Showed up in More Fun Comics number 52 in 1940. Dude's a geezer. Okay? More Fun Comics. Seriously. Oh my god. That's why they're not around anymore. And he's got lots of magical power, and he's dead, and he can use his piercing judgment eyes or something. Whatever. On the back here, we got to look at some of the other figures. We've got Eclipso, Spectre, Copperhead, Dr. Midnight, Desaad, Mary Batson, who cares about her, and Iron from the Metal Men. And we can put together a whole bunch of pieces to build Darkseid. And that's the whole point of this wave, right? Because really, in my opinion, Spectre's the only one worth getting. Maybe Desaad if you're trying to build an Apocalypse set. But let's face it, we just want Darkseid. Because, you know, he was voiced by Michael Ironside, and that was awesome. So, that was our look at the packaging for the Spectre. Give me a minute. I'm going to grab something sharp, dig out this figure. We'll have a closer look. Back in a second. Okay, I'm back, and I'm a liar. We don't have Spectre completely out of the packaging yet. Why is that? I just want to show one thing that is a real gripe of mine. So we've got the inside plastic bit here, and we've got Spectre in there, and I've cut some of the little plastic ties that keep him in there, or the rubber bands, where the hell they are. He's held in by his cape. This happens with a number of the DCU figures, if you didn't already know. If you buy these, you probably know. Frustrates the living hell out of me. Why? Well, it makes it so flippin' difficult to dig the figure out of the package. So I'm gonna just pop his legs out here. You're gonna see how gentle I am with these things, by the way. And then we just kind of gotta refit. Oh my goodness! Come on, you know you want out of the packaging. Thank you, Miss Assistant.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Oh, there. Now we have Spectre out of the packaging. Jeez. Okay, I just had to make that point. Now, that's the way I would have reefed this thing out of the package, even if, even if I wasn't doing it on camera. I'm wondering if that was something I did. Anyways. Now we can look at Spectre out of the package. I know, maybe, does anyone out there know a better way of doing that? That's a little less, less of a struggle, less violent, whatever. Because I don't know it. I usually just reef it out. And with some of them, like Hawkman, it's just not pleasant. At any rate, there is one thing I want to show before we get talking about Spectre here a little bit more. And it's from the packaging. There we've got, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Spectre. I don't know who this chick is beside him. But here we've got Spectre, and if you can see there, he's got the scruff. He's got the goat going on. So I don't know who the hell he's supposed to be, because this dude doesn't have it. Anything? No? Okay. Well, maybe I'll figure it out. But probably not, because I don't care enough to look it up. At any rate, here is the Spectre. You can have a look at him if you haven't already seen him. Especially with me fighting with it. So we'll talk about the colors now. I mean, he does harken back to, what, the 40s, so he's got the, you know, the underwear on the outside and his cute little ankle booties there that are green, which is nice. He's not one of those characters that has like 3 primary colors, but the white on him. Now, because he's wearing his underwear on the outside, it makes me wonder, is this the color of his skin, so to speak? Because I know Spectre is kind of a ghost. Because if that's the case, he's pastier than even I am. Like, seriously, dude. Get a tan. But, you know, it's actually a very nice color of white. It's not bluish like some of them have been. Like the Harley Quinn figure. A little bit bluish. So it is that very pale white, which is nice. And if we can see here, the eyes, we can see that they're very white. But the reason we get that, there we go, my camera will focus, is that they colored around the eyes kind of grayish. And I imagine they do that in the comics as well, because it gives the eyes that piercing whiteness that we need. And the rest of the colors, you know, that green is pretty uniform, along with his cape. That's excellent. For the sculpt, well, you know what? A lot of the standard DCU stuff here. So almost the whole lower body until we get to the designer boots he's wearing. That's all pretty much standard. Most of his torso and arms are. The only difference is going to be his hands. Now, I haven't seen hands like these before on a DCU figure. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Actually, I'm wondering if they're pretty close to Deadman. May have to check that. But it's a little bit different. At least they're not in fists, which makes sense. The Spectre doesn't strike me as the type who's a fisticuffs kind of guy. He does scary, magical things. But I think what really sets this figure apart is going to be the sculpt for his head. We can see here the top of his cloak and how it's clasped together and tied. He's got the cloak up top, which does have a little bit of movement. Sorry, the plastic. It's a little bit softer, and the sculpt for his face is very good. It's vacant almost. He's kind of like a zombie to me, and that is very cool. I do like that. The articulation, that's going to be standard for DCUC figures. The shoulder is going to rotate. It's going to go up and down, even though this joint's really stiff. The arm's going to rotate at the bicep. We can bend at the elbow. And we can rotate the hand at the wrist. We've got that extra joint here in the torso so he can look back or he can lean forward, show his abs. We can rotate the waist all the way around. And the hip joints, well, they go out. They go up and down. We can rotate the legs there at the thigh, which most legs really don't do. We can bend at the knee, and then we can bend at the ankle as well. It looks like his feet should rotate, but they don't, which is kind of sad. So there he is. You know what, he's not a bad figure. He's got a little bit of character to him, even though he's kind of got that standard... Oh, I forgot one thing. His head does move. My bad, I'm sorry. And you know what, maybe with Spectre, it would make sense for him to do the whole Exorcist twist. His head just going backwards. Look at me. I'm an owl. Yeah, okay. Ugh. There we go. So there he is. You know what, as I said, he got some decent character, mostly in the face, but it's nice that his hands, he shouldn't be balled up in a fist, right? Because I just don't think he smashes people too much. Now, for some of the accessories that this figure does come with, we'll set him back there, he comes with a piece of Darkseid, but more importantly than that, yes, he comes with a collector's button, because you gotta catch them all, or collect them all, whatever. This is probably from Justice Society of America, and I still don't know who... No, that's a Flash. There we've got Green Lantern, who's wearing a whole lot of red and purple. Still doesn't make any sense to me. And over there on the side, we've got Spectre. So we've got this brutal vengeance dude who runs around with the Justice Society. He doesn't necessarily do justice. He does vengeance. There's a difference. He messes people up. Don't think the Justice Society is supposed to do that. Or the Justice League, or whoever the hell they are. I don't care. Now, more importantly than this, yeah, we have a piece of Darkseid. So here we've got his big beefy arm. We'll eventually put this together with the other pieces to build Darkseid, which is going to be excellent. But the other thing we should notice is he comes with this funky hand. The one gloved thing. He's a fan of Michael Jackson. I don't know what the deal is with this hand either. It looks like, you know when anyone tries to impersonate Spider-Man and they put the little suction cups on their fingers? That's what this looks like to me. Except more Infinity Gauntlet look to it. But we can't pull that off. Ah, my hand! See, now he's kind of like Ash from The Evil Dead. We can stick on another hand. Oh! Can we get that on there? There we go. It's close enough. Which is more like one of his normal hands. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe we'll look at that more later. Actually, with a robotic hand, he's also kind of like Ash, isn't he? Anyways, back to the Spectre. I think this is a pretty decent character. It doesn't come with a figure stand. Only rare figures seem to come with figure stands. But would have been nice for this figure if they could have done it so that he had a figure stand that would attach to his back and hoist him off the ground a little bit. Because the Spectre has always struck me as a character who should float. for what little I know of him. And that would have been excellent to get that effect. I know some of the older Marvel Legends figures had that, like the old Deadpool, and I think there were others. The Spider-Man Classics figures, so you could suspend him in air. Make it look like he was floating along. I would have liked that. That's kind of too bad. But, I mean, it doesn't take away from the figure. You can still do some nice stuff with him. If I was going to give this figure a grade, I would give it a grade of B+. I do like it. It's not quite up there with my favorites. For me, it's probably the only figure from the line that's worth buying on its own. Just because I do kind of like the Spectre, don't know much about him, but I do think he is kind of cool. So if you see him, he's worth getting, and if nothing else, he comes with a piece of Darkseid, which is what we want. So I think that's going to wrap up my review on the Spectre. Thank you very much, and class is dismissed.